As I think about Prader-Willi syndrome, I think the important things for people to understand, everyone is involved in the lifestyle that you have to create to keep someone with Prader-Willi syndrome safe. My son is James. He's also known as Jim. He's 38 years old, living with Prader-Willi syndrome. He was born in 1986, and when he was born, the initial words that they used were he was floppy. He had almost no muscle tone and no suck reflex, which is of course important for feeding. At about day 4, I walked into the NICU to get involved in his care, and there was a little card in his bassinet that said question Prader-Willi syndrome. It was challenging to feed him initially. We had to put a tube down his throat every time it was time to feed him, and then take a large syringe and put milk or formula in it and just kind of let it gravity feed to him. His actual clinical diagnosis didn't happen until he was about 6 years old. So at that point, we had a genetic test that confirmed that he had Prader-Willi syndrome.
I ended up struggling with the low muscle tone, and I frequently found other kids my age watching them play sporting events and games and stuff on playgrounds and on sports fields and wanting to participate, but I just couldn't.
When Jim was in high school, we discovered Special Olympics. He played soccer and basketball. He did winter sports with them. He did snowshoeing. They had a Special Olympics swim team, which was great, and he loved that. That was really, I think, his favorite.
Coming to find that, yeah, I could do all these things. It was cool with Special Olympics because I also was participating with other people that were struggling with similar things.
When he started high school, he went to a very large regional high school that has multiple buildings. It's almost like a college campus. Food became a bigger challenge because in this large school environment, he had more access to food. That was kind of a big turning point for us because he had done so well for so long, and he was still doing well overall. But we had to make some decisions, and we had to think about what we needed to do differently at home and help control his environment more. For the first time, we had a locked pantry, we had a locked refrigerator, and we just had to be more cognizant about food safety and food awareness for him. It did cause some anxiety, certainly for me and for my husband. The food issue was more of a mental issue than a physical issue, and having to answer questions from people coming into the house. Why do you have a lock on your refrigerator? Well, we're protecting Jim because, and just had to kind of explain Prader-Willi a little bit to people. Up to that point in time, elementary school and high school, I was really his chief advocate. He started doing some of his own in high school, but when he was at college, I wasn't there. He went to a community college about 30 minutes from us. We started off with him living in the dorm and realized fairly quickly that that was probably a mistake. He got pretty sick because of open access to food, was in the hospital for weeks, and came through it, came home to recover, and missed about a semester of school through that process. Then the next step was challenging. What do we do next? And he wanted to be working. He wanted to work with kids. He did some substitute teaching for a bit. I think he needed more consistency and wasn't able to find a consistent job doing that. So we started looking at other options and see what else we could do to help him kind of move forward in his life. And so we reached out to the network of people that he knew on Cape Cod because he'd been there for a while. 2 people gave us the same name. A lovely woman that we went down and met, and she had an apartment in her basement and was trying to figure out what to do with it. A month or 2 later, he moved back down to the Cape and moved into her apartment, and she has been his caregiver since then. It's been 11 or 12 13 years. It's been quite a while. She comes to Jim several times a week. Typically, she'll bring 2 or 3 meals at a time. So he has lunch for today, dinner for tonight, and lunch for tomorrow. And she also oversees his health care and helps coordinate appointments. And that has worked great. It's been quite successful for him.
It's been harder without my folks around, my family around me all the time, but it's opened my eyes up that there's other ways and other options of living and dealing with things that I didn't at first know or expect. Getting into all these other opportunities and into hockey, it's like I just got it in the back of my head, I can do this, and so can others like me. If you're looking for new opportunities and to participate in things, you don't know if you have the strength to do it, just try it and do it. And just see where it'll take you. It can open doors and open your eyes to things you couldn't even imagine.